The rise of UFO evidence. How modern technology is unraveling the mystery. For centuries, humankind has looked to the skies in search of answers. Stories of strange objects in the heavens have been passed down through generations, from ancient civilizations to modern-day eyewitnesses. Yet, for much of history, these tales remain just that, stories, unverified and shrouded in skepticism. Today, however, the landscape of UFO research is changing. Thanks to cutting-edge technology, we are now able to capture, analyze, and validate anomalies in the sky with unprecedented. A new age of UFO hunting. In the past, reports of unidentified flying objects were often dismissed due to the lack of solid evidence. Witnesses might describe glowing lights or fast-moving craft, but without clear photographic proof, their testimonies were met with doubt. Even when photos or videos did surface, they were often blurry, grainy, or easily explained away as camera malfunctions or not. But in the 21st century, that is no longer the case. The tools available to UFO researchers have advanced at an incredible pace. High-resolution cameras, infrared sensors, and satellite imaging now allow for precise documentation of mysterious aerial events. One of the biggest breakthroughs has come from the rise of smartphones and digital cameras. Almost everyone now carries a device capable of recording video in 4,000 resolution. This means that when a UFO appears in the sky, it is no longer just one person's word against the skeptics. Multiple witnesses can record the event from different angles, providing a comprehensive view that is much harder to dismiss. Unlocking the secrets of the past. Beyond capturing new UFO sightings, modern technology is also helping researchers re-examine old evidence. Decades ago, many photographs of unidentified flying objects were taken with film cameras, leaving room for speculation about their authenticity. Could they have been the result of lens flares, exposure errors, or simple hoaxes? Without advanced imaging techniques, there was no way to say for certain. But today, artificial intelligence and image enhancement software are breathing new life into these historical records. Experts can scan original negatives with ultra-high resolution, removing imperfections caused by age or faulty development. What remains is often a sharper, more detailed look at what was originally photographed. In some cases, objects that were once dismissed as film defects have been revealed to be structured, metallic craft, something far beyond a mere smudge on the lens. One striking example of this comes from a 1971 photograph taken in Costa Rica. Originally captured for environmental survey purposes, this image contained something unusual, a round, metallic object hovering over the landscape. At the time, the technology to properly analyze the photo did not exist, and its significance remained in question. However, when the image was recently re-examined with modern digital tools, the UFO became clearer than ever. The new analysis ruled out common explanations such as debris or damage to the film, reinforcing the possibility that this was an actual unidentified craft. From speculation to science. The scientific community is also starting to take the UFO phenomenon more seriously. For years, government agencies largely dismissed the subject, treating it as a matter for conspiracy theorists rather than legitimate researchers. But in recent times, that attitude has shifted. Organizations such as NASA and the Pentagon have publicly acknowledged that there are aerial phenomena that cannot be explained by conventional means. Sophisticated radar systems and infrared tracking technology have detected unidentified objects moving at speeds and angles beyond the capabilities of known aircraft. These detections are backed by data, eliminating the possibility of optical illusions or simple misidentifications. In some cases, these objects have been observed performing maneuvers that defy the laws of physics, accelerating instantly, making sharp angle turns at hypersonic speeds, or disappearing without a trace. With the increased attention from both independent researchers and official agencies, We are moving into an era where UFOs are no longer a fringe topic. The question is no longer, are they real? But rather, what are they? A shift in public perception. Perhaps the most significant impact of modern technology is how it has changed public perception of UFOs. In the past, discussing flying saucers or extraterrestrial encounters often invited ridicule. People feared being labeled as conspiracy theorists, and many credible witnesses, including military pilots and government officials, chose to stay silent rather than face skepticism. However, with the overwhelming amount of video evidence now available, attitudes are shifting. More people are open to the idea that something unexplained is happening in our skies. Television documentaries, government reports, and declassified files are fueling discussions that would have been unthinkable just a few decades ago. In a world where nearly everyone carries a camera in their pocket, the truth is becoming harder to suppress. Each new sighting, each analyzed photograph, each radar confirmation adds another piece to the puzzle. We may not have all the answers yet, but one thing is certain. We are closer than ever before to uncovering the truth about UFOs. Conclusion. Modern technology is revolutionizing the way we investigate unidentified aerial phenomena. With clearer images, more reliable data, and increasing acceptance from the scientific community, the field of UFO research is entering an exciting new phase. We are no longer relying on folklore and speculation now. We have the tools to document, analyze, and verify the unexplained. For those who have spent their lives wondering what lies beyond the stars, this is a thrilling time. The answers may still be out there, but one thing is certain. The truth is coming into focus. The mysterious UFO photograph of Costa Rica, a secret that refused to stay hidden. It was a clear September morning in 1971 when Sergio Loa boarded a small aircraft, unaware that he was about to capture one of the most compelling UFO images in history. The flight, part of a routine aerial survey for the National Geographic Institute of Costa Rica, was supposed to be just another mission. Loa's job was straightforward: take high-resolution photographs of Lake Cote, a serene body of water in the northern highlands of the country. At an altitude of 10,000 feet, the camera, mounted beneath the plane, clicked away at precise intervals, documenting the landscape below. After completing the mission, Loa and his colleagues returned to the lab, where they developed the film as usual. The team gathered around the contact sheets, inspecting the aerial shots. The lake, the dense tropical forests, and the hydroelectric project they had been surveying were all visible. Everything seemed normal. But then, someone pointed to the upper right-hand corner of one of the frames. A metallic, disc-shaped object hovered over the landscape, standing out starkly against the natural backdrop. It was perfectly round, gleaming in the sunlight, and appeared to be floating just above the water's surface. What was most baffling, however, was that this object did not appear in the frame before or the frame after. The team stared in disbelief. Could it be a smudge on the film? A developing error? They carefully examined the negatives, but the object was there, clear and undeniable, a government cover-up. As word spread within the Institute, so did the sense of unease. The discovery had the potential to attract significant attention, and that was exactly what some officials wanted to avoid. According to Loa, the National Geographic Institute immediately stepped in, forbidding him and his colleagues from discussing the image. The film was classified, locked away, and the incident was quietly swept under the rug. For years, the photograph remained hidden, a secret known only to a few. But secrets have a way of slipping through the cracks. In 1979, nearly a decade after the photo was taken, it was leaked to the Argentine newspaper La Noche N. For the first time, the world saw what many would call the most authentic UFO photograph ever taken. Unlike the blurry, often questionable UFO images that circulated in tabloids, this one was crisp, detailed, and taken with professional-grade equipment. The clarity of the object, combined with the credibility of the survey mission, made it nearly impossible to dismiss. Scientists, skeptics, and UFO researchers alike were drawn to the image. Among them was Jacques Vallée, a respected astrophysicist and UFO investigator. Vallée and others conducted extensive analyses, examining possible explanations: a weather balloon, a reflection, a bird. Each theory failed to account for the object's distinct metallic sheen, the way it appeared in only one frame, and most importantly, its seemingly perfect symmetry, something rarely found in natural aerial anomalies. A new look with 21st century technology. For decades, the photograph remained a subject of intense debate. Some believed it was the smoking and undeniable proof of extraterrestrial visitors. Others dismissed it as a misinterpretation of an ordinary object. But as technology advanced, so did the ability to analyze historical images with greater precision. In 2021, Esteban Carranza, a friend of the Loa family, obtained the original contact sheets. Unlike the earlier examinations, which relied on physical negatives and magnifying glasses, Carranza had the photographs scanned at ultra-high resolution. This new 1.8 gigabyte image provided an unprecedented level of detail, and what it revealed was astonishing. In previous versions of the image, some skeptics had claimed that dust, smudges, or flaws in the film could have created an illusion of UFO. However, in this newly enhanced scan, those imperfections disappeared, yet the saucer-shaped object remained, sharper than ever. The new level of clarity ruled out many previous skeptical theories. Another crucial detail emerged. The lighting and shadows on the object matched the surrounding environment. If it were a trick of the light, a bird, or debris, the sun's reflection wouldn't align so perfectly. Instead, the metallic surface of the object appeared to reflect the sunlight in a way that suggested it had physical mass and structure. Skeptics continued to search for alternative explanations, but with each passing decade, the image only seemed to gain more credibility. Some suggested the object could be a secret military craft, but Costa Rica had no such advanced aerospace programs at the time. Others proposed it could be a lenticular cloud or an atmospheric anomaly, but these natural phenomena do not appear as singular, sharply defined metallic disks. What does it mean? Even today, more than 50 years after it was taken, the Costa Rica UFO photograph remains one of the most compelling pieces of evidence in the search for extraterrestrial life. It is not just a fleeting sighting or a story passed down through word of mouth. It is a tangible image captured by an objective, unmanned camera during a mission that had nothing to do with UFOs. If the object in the photograph is truly an unidentified flying object, it raises profound questions. What was it doing there? Why did it only appear in a single frame? Was it observing, passing through, or something else entirely? For those who believe in UFOs, the image stands as a testament to the idea that we are not alone. For skeptics, it remains an enigma, one that science has yet to fully explain. But no matter where one stands on the debate, one thing is certain. On September 4th, 1971, in the skies over Costa Rica, something was there. And after more than 5 decades, we still don't know what it was. The hacker who saw too much. On the chilly morning of March 19, 2002, a group of officers from the UK's National High-Tech Crime Unit arrived at a modest home in North London. Their mission was clear: arrest 36-year-old Gary McKinnon, a Scottish computer engineer, on behalf of the United States government. His crime? Allegedly hacking into some of the most classified computer systems in the world, NASA and the Pentagon. But what McKinnon claimed to have discovered would spark one of the most controversial debates in modern UFO conspiracy circles: a curious mind and an open door. McKinnon was no ordinary hacker. He wasn't after money, trade secrets, or state intelligence in the traditional sense. He was chasing something far more elusive, proof that the US government was hiding information about UFOs and extraterrestrial technology. For years, McKinnon had been obsessed with the idea that Earth had been visited by advanced civilizations from beyond the stars. He spent countless nights sifting through online forums, engaging in discussions about UFO sightings, secret space programs, and government cover-ups. Then, one day, he decided to take matters into his own hands. At the time, cybersecurity was nowhere near as advanced as it is today. McKinnon exploited security weaknesses in the US military and NASA's networks, gaining access to sensitive files using nothing more than a simple script. According to him, many high-level systems had no passwords or had only the most basic security measures in place, allowing him to enter almost undetected. "I was absolutely astonished at the lack of security," McKinnon later recalled in interviews. "It was like leaving your front door wide open." The non-terrestrial officers. Among the countless documents McKinnon claims to have sifted through, one stood out. It was a spreadsheet titled Non-Terrestrial Officers. The file contained a list of names people McKinnon had never heard of, along with corresponding ranks and assignments. But what struck him most was that the names of the ships they were assigned to did not match any known U.S. Navy vessels. These were not submarines, destroyers, or aircraft carriers. In fact, McKinnon couldn't find any public record of them at all. To McKinnon, this was the smoking gun evidence that the United States was operating a secret space program, completely off the books. He believed this document proved the existence of an off-world military force, one that might even be working alongside extraterrestrial beings. His discoveries didn't stop there. McKinnon also claimed to have found images of unidentified spacecraft stored on NASA servers. One image in particular stood out: a massive, cigar-shaped object floating above Earth. McKinnon was mesmerized, staring at the screen in awe, but before he could download the image, something happened. His remote connection slowed, then froze. Someone on the other end had discovered his presence. Panic surged through him as he hurriedly disconnected. "I knew I had gone too far," he later admitted. The fallout. It didn't take long for authorities to trace the digital breadcrumbs back to McKinnon. The U.S. government accused him of causing $700,000 in damages to their networks, a claim he vehemently denied. "They said I deleted critical files, shut down systems. I did no such thing," McKinnon stated. "All I did was snoop around." The U.S. sought his extradition, and McKinnon suddenly found himself facing up to 70 years in prison. The case dragged on for a decade, turning into a high-profile legal battle. His supporters argued that he was nothing more than an overzealous truth seeker, not a cybercriminal. His mother, Janice Sharp, fought relentlessly against his extradition, turning the case into a human rights issue. Finally, in 2012, after 10 years of legal warfare, the UK government blocked his extradition, citing concerns about his mental health. It was a rare victory against U.S. legal pressure, but McKinnon's life would never be the same, even though he avoided prison. McKinnon remains on Interpol's Red Notice list, which means he cannot leave the UK without risking arrest, truth, or delusion. To this day, the question lingers: did Gary McKinnon truly uncover evidence of a secret space program? Or was he simply misinterpreting military documents that had nothing to do with extraterrestrial activity? Skeptics argue that non-terrestrial officers could have been a misleading term, perhaps referring to Air Force personnel assigned to operations in space, rather than alien-related activities. The mysterious ships he found could have been classified spacecraft or satellites, rather than full-fledged interstellar battleships. However, UFO researchers and conspiracy theorists see McKinnon's story as a crucial piece of a much larger puzzle. His claims align with those of high-ranking officials, including Paul Hellyer, former Canadian Minister of Defense, who insisted that the US was working with extraterrestrials. Whether McKinnon was a hacker who saw too much or simply a man who wanted to believe, his story remains one of the most compelling modern UFO conspiracies. And while he may never set foot outside the UK again, the mystery of what he found or what he thought he found continues to fuel speculation and debate. The hidden truth, government secrets, and the Galactic Federation. For decades, the idea of extraterrestrial life has fascinated and perplexed people across the globe. UFO sightings, unexplained aerial phenomena, and secretive government projects have fueled speculation that humanity is not alone in the universe. Yet, what was once considered mere science fiction has increasingly found validation from unexpected sources, former high-ranking government officials. Two such figures, Paul Hellyer and Chaim Escht, have made astonishing claims that challenge conventional wisdom and suggest that world governments may have long been in contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. Paul Hellyer's shocking revelation. Paul Hellyer was not just any politician, he was Canada's former Minister of National Defense, a man with access to classified military intelligence. His distinguished career and reputation made his statements all the more shocking when, in 2013, he publicly declared that extraterrestrials were not only real, but that world governments, particularly the United States, were actively working with them. In a speech that sent shockwaves through the global UFO community, Hellyer stated, "UFOs are as real as the airplanes flying overhead." He claimed that extraterrestrial beings had been visiting Earth for thousands of years, and that some of them had even established ongoing relationships with major world powers. According to him, multiple species of extraterrestrials were interacting with humanity, each with their own agendas. One of the most intriguing aspects of Hellyer's claims was his assertion that a galactic federation existed, a council of extraterrestrial civilizations that had been monitoring Earth for some time. He suggested that this federation operated similarly to the United Nations, but on an interstellar scale, with representatives from various intelligent species working together to maintain peace and balance across the cosmos. But why, if this was true, had they not made their presence known to the general public? According to Hellyer, extraterrestrials were concerned about humanity's destructive tendencies, particularly our reliance on war and nuclear weapons. He believed that they were waiting for humanity to reach a certain level of maturity before making formal contact. Hellyer's statements were met with both intrigue and skepticism. Some dismissed them as the ramblings of an aging politician, while others pointed out that his position within the Canadian government gave his words significant weight. If even a fraction of what he said was true, it would mean that world governments had been withholding one of the most profound truths in human history, the testimony of Chaim Escht. Just a few years after Hellyer's bold declaration, another prominent government insider came forward with similar claims. Chaim Escht, the former head of Israel's space security program, made international headlines in 2020 when he asserted that not only did extraterrestrials exist, but that they were already in communication with world leaders. Escht, who had spent nearly 3 decades overseeing Israel's space operations, stated that the US government had been in direct contact with an extraterrestrial group for years. He claimed that former President Donald Trump was even aware of their existence, but had been urged not to disclose the information for fear of widespread panic. Like Hellyer, Escht spoke of a galactic federation, a coalition of advanced civilizations working behind the scenes. He described this federation as being deeply invested in Earth's development, but wary of exposing themselves to a species not yet ready for intergalactic diplomacy. According to him, these beings had established bases on both Earth and Mars, where they collaborated with human scientists and military personnel on advanced technological research. Esched's comments sparked a firestorm of debate. While skeptics dismissed his claims as outlandish, others pointed to his impeccable credentials. He was not a fringe theorist or conspiracy theorist. He was a respected scientist with deep ties to Israel's intelligence and aerospace communities, a pattern of disclosure. What makes Hellier's and Eshed's claims so compelling is that they are not isolated incidents. Over the past few decades, numerous former government and military officials have hinted at or outright confirmed that extraterrestrial life is not only real, but actively engaging with Earth. In 2001, at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., a group of high-ranking military personnel and government insiders came forward in what was known as the Disclosure Project, claiming that UFO encounters had been covered up for decades. In 2020, the U.S. Department of Defense officially released 3 declassified videos captured by Navy pilots showing unidentified aerial phenomena UAPs exhibiting flight capabilities beyond known human technology. In 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence submitted a report to Congress acknowledging that many UAP encounters remained unexplained, further fueling speculation about extraterrestrial involvement. Hellier and Eshed's statements, while extraordinary, fit within a growing pattern of gradual disclosure. If their claims about a galactic federation are true, then it raises profound questions. What do these extraterrestrials want from us? Are they here to guide us, or simply to observe? And most importantly, how much does the government really know? Why the secrecy? One of the most frustrating aspects of the UFO phenomenon is the veil of secrecy surrounding it. Both Hellier and Eshed suggested that governments had compelling reasons to keep this information hidden. 1. Avoiding public panic. Governments fear that revealing the existence of extraterrestrials could cause mass hysteria, religious crises, and social unrest. 2. Technological advantage. If extraterrestrial beings have shared advanced technologies with certain governments, those nations would have a strategic reason to keep such knowledge classified. 3. Military implications. If extraterrestrials possess advanced weaponry or spacecraft, governments may be researching how to harness similar technology for military applications. While these explanations make logical sense, many believe that humanity has a right to know the truth. If we are truly part of a broader intergalactic community, then understanding our place in it is essential. Are we being prepared for full disclosure? It is possible that the recent wave of government disclosures, along with testimonies from figures like Hellier and Eshed, are part of a slow process of acclimating the public to the idea of extraterrestrial life. Rather than making a single earth-shattering announcement, governments may be releasing information in small doses to reduce shock and resistance. Whatever the case, one thing is certain: the conversation about UFOs and extraterrestrial life is no longer confined to conspiracy theories and science fiction. High-level insiders have spoken, official documents have been released, and the world is beginning to take the subject more seriously. If Hellier and Eshed are right, then we may soon reach a pivotal moment in human history, the day when we no longer ask, "Are we alone?" but rather, what comes next? The mystery of Alaska's UFO hotspot, the secrets of Mount Hayes. Alaska is known for its breathtaking wilderness, towering mountains, and extreme weather conditions. But beyond its natural beauty lies a mystery that has baffled researchers, government officials, and UFO enthusiasts for decades. In the remote region of the Alaska Triangle, a vast expanse stretching between Anchorage, Juneau, and Barrow, strange and unexplained events have been reported: missing people, aircraft disappearing without a trace, and eerie lights dancing across the sky. However, among all the anomalies in this mysterious region, Mount Hayes stands out as a particularly strange and unsettling location. For years, local residents and pilots flying over the area have reported unidentified flying objects, UFOs, near the towering peak. Bright, saucer-shaped crafts have been seen hovering in the air, moving at impossible speeds, and even disappearing into the mountain itself. The reports were initially dismissed as hallucinations, misidentified aircraft, or atmospheric phenomena. But everything changed in 1995 when declassified CIA documents revealed something truly astonishing. Mount Hayes had been a subject of a top-secret government project called Stargate. The Stargate project, initiated during the Cold War, was the U.S. government's attempt to use remote viewing, a psychic technique used to gather intelligence from great distances. The idea was simple but bizarre. Trained individuals would sit in a controlled environment, enter a deep meditative state, and attempt to see distant places, events, or objects using only their mind. The CIA and U.S. Army believed this could be used for espionage, tracking Soviet movements, locating hidden nuclear sites, and even finding hostages. But during one particular session, remote viewers reported something completely unexpected. One of the most famous remote viewers involved in the Stargate project was Pat Price, a former police officer turned psychic spy. According to declassified accounts, Price was asked to focus on Mount Hayes. What he described shocked intelligence officials. He claimed that beneath the mountain lay a massive underground facility not built by humans, but by an unknown, possibly extraterrestrial force. Inside this hidden base, he described seeing tunnels, metallic structures, and advanced technology unlike anything on Earth. Even more disturbingly, he reported seeing strange humanoid beings working inside, some of them appearing completely alien, while others looked human, but were somehow different, according to Price. These beings were monitoring human activities from this space. They had the ability to influence events on Earth, perhaps even manipulating global affairs in ways we could not comprehend. The facility, he insisted, was not abandoned, it was active, operating and being used by these entities. Officials reviewing Price's remote viewing session were deeply disturbed. Was he hallucinating? Was it just a fabrication of his imagination? Or had he stumbled upon something the U.S. government had already known but kept secret? The military took his claims seriously enough to keep them classified for decades, but Price's strange discoveries would not be the last time Mount Hayes was connected to the extraterrestrial phenomenon. Modern encounters and strange disappearances. Even without Price's testimony, Mount Hayes has been surrounded by eerie mysteries for years. Pilots flying over the region frequently report electrical malfunctions when passing near the mountain, as if some unknown force is interfering with their instruments. Some describe seeing bright orbs of light moving in impossible patterns, dipping in and out of the mountain's surface as if passing through solid rock. Local hunters and hikers who dare to approach the area tell chilling stories of strange noises, low-frequency hums, metallic clanking, and even voices speaking in unknown languages. Some who venture too close report sudden feelings of dizziness, nausea, and even temporary memory loss, as if something or someone was trying to push them away. Most disturbingly, Mount Hayes has been linked to multiple cases of missing persons. Hikers have disappeared without a trace, their bodies never found. The U.S. military has recorded multiple aircraft disappearances in the area, often with no distress signals or wreckage recovered. Some locals believe the mountain itself is alive in some way, absorbing anything that comes too close, a government cover-up. If Mount Hayes truly houses an underground base, why has the U.S. government remained silent? Some believe the military knows exactly what's inside the mountain, but has chosen to keep it secret for reasons unknown. Others speculate that the government itself may be working with these entities, conducting experiments or exchanging knowledge in ways the public could never imagine. Adding to the mystery, any attempts to investigate the mountain more closely have been met with resistance. Independent researchers attempting to gather evidence have reported being followed, their equipment malfunctioning, and even receiving anonymous warnings to stay away. Perhaps the most unsettling theory suggests that the base beneath Mount Hayes is not just a simple observation post, but a fully operational outpost where extraterrestrial beings are conducting experiments on us. Some researchers claim that the unusually high number of missing persons in the Alaska Triangle could be connected to activities within the mountain. Could it be that some of these disappearances are not accidents, but abductions? What lies beneath? Despite the chilling stories and the classified documents linking Mount Hayes to a secret UFO base, there has never been any official confirmation from the U.S. government. To this day, the region remains largely unexplored, its secrets hidden beneath thousands of feet of rock and ice. Skeptics argue that the stories are nothing more than a mix of local folklore, exaggerated pilot accounts, and the overactive imaginations of conspiracy theorists. But for those who have seen the lights, heard the strange noises, or felt the unexplainable pull of the mountain, Mount Hayes remains one of the greatest UFO mysteries in America. Could there really be an underground alien base beneath this icy peak? Or is it simply a product of Cold War paranoia, misidentified natural phenomena, and the power of belief? For now, the answers remain locked away deep within the towering, snow-covered slopes of Mount Hayes. The mysterious knowledge of the Dogon, a connection to the stars? Deep in the arid lands of Mali, West Africa, lies a community whose knowledge defies explanation. The Dogon people, an ancient tribe with traditions stretching back centuries, have long intrigued anthropologists, historians, and even astronomers. Their culture is rich with myths, rituals, and artistic expressions, yet it is their astonishing knowledge of the cosmos that has left modern scholars puzzled. In the early 20th century, French anthropologists Marcel Griaule and Germain Dieterlen embarked on a journey to study the Dogon's customs. What they found was a civilization that, despite living in relative isolation, possessed an intricate understanding of astronomy, specifically the Sirius star system. The Dogon elders spoke of a tiny, incredibly dense star orbiting Sirius A, the brightest star visible in the night sky. This star, they claimed, was known to their ancestors as Potolo, and it had been described in their oral traditions for generations. At the time of this revelation, in the 1930s, Western astronomers knew very little about Sirius B, the white dwarf companion of Sirius A. In fact, it was not until the mid-19th century that Sirius B had even been hypothesized, and it remained invisible to the naked eye. The existence of this tiny star was officially confirmed by astronomers in 1862 through powerful telescopes, and its extreme density was not fully understood until the 20th century. Yet, the Dogon had not only described it long before its modern discovery, but they also seemed to possess advanced knowledge about its orbit, density, and significance in the cosmic order. How could a people without telescopes or written scientific records have known such precise astronomical details? This question has fueled numerous debates and given rise to various theories, some conventional, others far more extraordinary. A story passed down through generations. According to the Dogon, their ancestors were visited by beings known as the Namo, amphibious creatures that descended from the heavens in a great, roaring whirlwind of light and water. These celestial visitors, as the elders described, were divine beings who came from the Sirius system and brought knowledge to humanity. The Namo were said to be half human, half fish-like entities who lived in the water, but possessed great wisdom. They were not mere myths, but the central figures in the Dogon's creation stories, guiding their spiritual beliefs and shaping their understanding of the universe. The Dogon described the Namo's arrival as the Day of the Fish, a momentous event in their history when the gods descended in a brilliant light, illuminating the land and shaking the earth with their powerful presence. The Namo, they said, imparted great knowledge, not just about the stars, but about agriculture, medicine, and the principles of harmony and balance in nature. They were revered as teachers, healers, and keepers of cosmic secrets. The most baffling aspect of the Dogon's knowledge was their claim that Sirius B was not the only celestial body in the Sirius system. They spoke of a third, yet undiscovered, star referred to as Mya, which modern science has yet to confirm. If proven true, It would suggest that the Dogon's astronomical understanding extends even beyond what we currently know. Coincidence, lost knowledge, or something more. Many scholars have tried to explain the Dogon's knowledge through conventional means. Some suggest that they may have learned about Sirius B through contact with European explorers or traders who had access to astronomical data. However, this theory fails to account for the fact that much of their knowledge predates documented interactions with the Western world. Others speculate that their knowledge is the result of an ancient but forgotten scientific tradition, perhaps passed down from an advanced civilization that once thrived in Africa, similar to the lost knowledge of the Egyptians or Mesopotamians. This theory raises even more questions. If such knowledge once existed, who possessed it? And why was it lost to time while the Dogon retained fragments of it? Yet, the most controversial theory remains the one closest to the Dogon's own beliefs, that their knowledge came from an extraterrestrial source. Could it be possible that long ago, beings from beyond Earth did, in fact, visit our ancestors, sharing knowledge that shaped early civilizations? Ancient astronaut theorists argue that the Namo legend bears striking similarities to myths found across the world. In ancient Sumer, for example, the god Ons was described as a fish-like being who emerged from the sea to teach humanity the arts of civilization. In India, the Matsya avatar of Vishnu was depicted as an amphibious divine figure who guided early humans. The Dogon stories echo these legends, suggesting a pattern that transcends geography and time. If these myths have a common origin, could they point to a shared historical event, one involving actual contact with an advanced, possibly extraterrestrial civilization? A legacy of cosmic wisdom. Regardless of the true origins of the Dogon's astronomical knowledge, their traditions have inspired curiosity and wonder among researchers and enthusiasts alike. Today, as modern technology continues to push the boundaries of space exploration, the Dogon's wisdom serves as a reminder that there are still mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Could it be that the Dogon people were the recipients of knowledge from an ancient, lost civilization? Or did they, as their own history suggests, truly receive insights from beings beyond our world? While skeptics and believers continue to debate, the Dogon's connection to the stars remains one of the most compelling enigmas of our time. And perhaps, as we venture deeper into the cosmos, we may one day find answers hidden among the stars, answers that the Dogon have known all along. The lost city of Mohenjo-Daro, a forgotten catastrophe. In the arid landscapes of present-day Pakistan lies an ancient city shrouded in mystery. Mohenjo-Daro, known as the Mound of the Dead, was once a thriving metropolis of the Indus Valley civilization. Historians believe it flourished around 2500 BCE, rivaling the great cities of Mesopotamia and Egypt. But something strange happened. The city's bustling streets fell silent, its homes abandoned, and its people seemingly vanished without a trace. Unlike other ancient civilizations that gradually declined due to war, famine, or natural disasters, Mohenjo-Daro's demise was abrupt, so sudden that even modern archaeologists struggle to explain it. The first clue to this enigma came in 1922, when British archaeologist John Marshall and his team unearthed the city's remains. What they found was astonishing. Mohenjo-Daro was meticulously planned, featuring a grid-like street system, multi-story brick houses, advanced drainage systems, and public baths, evidence of an incredibly sophisticated society. Yet, amid the grandeur of its ruins, something unsettling caught the researchers' attention. Scattered across the city were just 43 skeletons, far fewer than one would expect from a metropolis that likely housed over 35,000 people. Even stranger, these skeletal remains did not show the typical signs of death from disease or battle. Instead, they appeared to have been caught in a sudden, catastrophic event. Many found lying in the streets, clutching each other in what seemed like a desperate moment of terror. Some bodies showed evidence of extreme heat exposure, with the bones partially vitrified, meaning they had been exposed to temperatures high enough to turn sand into glass. For decades, historians struggled to make sense of this eerie discovery. Then, in 1977, British researcher David Davenport stumbled upon something remarkable. While studying Mohenjo-Daro's ruins, he identified an area of the city that appeared to be the epicenter of an immense explosion. The bricks in this zone were melted together, and pieces of pottery had turned to glass, a phenomenon only possible under extreme heat conditions, far beyond what ancient kilns could produce. Davenport's findings were met with skepticism at first, but as scientists examined the vitrified ruins, they realized something disturbing. The level of destruction bore an uncanny resemblance to the aftermath of modern nuclear explosions. In Hiroshima and Nagasaki, after the atomic bombings of 1945, researchers observed similar vitrification in structures exposed to the blast. The bricks in Mohenjo-Daro's epicenter had been fused together in the same way, as if they had been subjected to a temperature of at least 4,000 to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, far beyond anything achievable with the technology available to the Indus Valley civilization. The idea that a nuclear-like explosion had wiped out Mohenjo-Daro seemed impossible, yet the physical evidence suggested otherwise. In 2014, mineralogist Dr. Samir Al-Kabi managed to obtain a piece of fused pottery from the ruins and subjected it to rigorous testing. Using X-ray diffraction, he discovered that the sample contained crystalline structures typically found in volcanic rock, but there were no volcanoes anywhere near Mohenjo-Daro. The only way the material could have formed was through sudden extreme heat, similar to that of a nuclear detonation. If an ancient explosion had indeed occurred, what could have caused it? Some historians proposed a meteor impact, but there was no evidence of a crater or widespread debris. Others suggested an earthquake followed by citywide fires, but that would not account for the vitrified ruins or the skeletons showing signs of high radiation exposure. A more controversial theory emerged, one that linked Mohenjo-Daro to the ancient Hindu epic, the Ramayana. The Ramayana tells of a great battle between Rama, an avatar of the god Vishnu, and the demon king Ravana. According to the text, the battle reached its climax when Rama unleashed a celestial weapon called the Brahmastra, a devastating force described as shining brighter than 1,000 suns. When fired, it caused an explosion so intense that entire cities were reduced to ashes, rivers boiled, and survivors suffered strange illnesses. The descriptions in the Ramayana bore chilling similarities to the effects of radiation poisoning observed in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Could it be that the story of the Brahmastra was not mere mythology, but a historical record of an advanced weapon used in the distant past? Some researchers believe that ancient civilizations may have possessed technology far beyond what we assume. The ruins of Mohenjo-Daro, with their vitrified bricks and scattered skeletons, serve as compelling evidence that something extraordinary and possibly catastrophic happened here thousands of years ago. While mainstream historians remain skeptical, the mystery of Mohenjo-Daro continues to captivate the imagination of scholars and conspiracy theorists alike. Was the city truly destroyed by an ancient nuclear-like explosion? Did a highly advanced civilization exist before recorded history, only to be lost in time? Or is the evidence merely a coincidence, an anomaly waiting for a more conventional explanation? For now, the answers remain buried beneath the ancient sands of Pakistan, waiting for the day when modern science will finally uncover the truth of what really happened to the lost city of Mohenjo-Daro. Are we alone? Unraveling the secrets of UFOs and ancient mysteries. For decades, whispers of government cover-ups, strange lights in the sky, and inexplicable ancient technology have captivated curious minds. Could it be that extraterrestrial beings have visited Earth, not just in recent years, but throughout human history? Evidence from leaked photographs, declassified documents, And even ancient texts suggest that the truth might be far more astonishing than we ever imagined. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence dates back to 1971 in Costa Rica, where an aerial photographer captured something remarkable. While surveying a hydroelectric project from 10,000 feet in the air, he snapped a routine series of images only to discover a strange metallic disc in one of the frames. The object was absent in the preceding and following shots, raising immediate questions. Was this a case of camera malfunction, or had he unknowingly documented an actual UFO? The Costa Rican government swiftly classified the image, silencing any discussion until it leaked to the public in 1979. Recent high-resolution scans have only deepened the mystery, eliminating any possibility that the object was a simple flaw in the film. Fast forward to 2002, when Scottish computer engineer Gary McKinnon found himself in the crosshairs of the US government. His crime? Hacking into NASA and Pentagon computers in search of UFO evidence. What he claimed to have found was staggering: a list of non-terrestrial officers and names of spacecraft that did not exist in any known naval fleet. Was this proof of a secret space program? The US sought to imprison McKinnon for 70 years, but after a decade-long battle, he avoided extradition. Even now, his allegations remain a subject of intense debate. But McKinnon wasn't the only one making bold claims. Paul Hellyer, former Canadian Minister of Defense, openly declared that world governments have been working with extraterrestrial beings for years. Similarly, Chaim Eshed, a former Israeli space security chief, spoke of an interstellar galactic federation in contact with Earth's leaders. Their claims were met with skepticism, but when high-ranking officials from multiple countries start echoing the same story, it becomes harder to dismiss. And what if contact with extraterrestrials isn't just a modern phenomenon? The Dogon people of Africa have long spoken of amphibious beings, the Nomo, who came from the Sirius star system and gifted them with knowledge of the cosmos. Shockingly, the Dogon described Sirius B, a white dwarf star invisible to the naked eye, something Western astronomers only confirmed in 1862. How did an ancient tribe possess such precise astronomical data? Even more startling is the mystery of Mohenjo-Daro, an advanced ancient city whose sudden destruction resembles the aftermath of a nuclear explosion. Evidence of extreme heat, vitrified stones, and radiation levels far beyond natural occurrences have led some researchers to suggest an otherworldly catastrophe. Could ancient texts describing celestial battles and energy weapons actually be historical records rather than mere mythology? The more we uncover, the clearer it becomes. The story of humanity may be far more intertwined with extraterrestrial life than we ever thought possible.